Happy Sunday, folks. We're going to take you along for our marketplace adventure today. We got some pretty big projects coming up soon, and I've been in need for some new wood tools. I sold all my stuff I had years ago, and I still got some stuff. I got a big planer and a drum sander and things, but I got a little crappy table saw, but I really need a decent table saw. And I've been looking for a shaper or a good router table. And I've been looking online, and prices have been just insane these days. I can't believe what, the prices of these things nowadays. But I had all new stuff back in the day, which wasn't that long ago, and I know I didn't pay near the prices of what stuff is now. But anyway, I found a decent deal on Marketplace, and we're gonna go look at that and pick it up now. And once we get it loaded up on a trailer, I'll show you what it is, and I'll let you know how much we pay for it. It's a pretty good deal. All right, we did our pickup. We're at Flying J's. Bonnie's gonna go in and get us some food, and I'm gonna show you what we got on the trailer. All right, here it is. We just scored a couple of shaper tables. A nice old Craftsman professional table. I hadn't seen one of those in years, but those are some really nice table saws. It's got a really nice fence on it too. And we got this old guy here, this old shaper. We're gonna have to get some shaper bits though. But yeah, that's what we were needing. I needed a shaper for some trim work, and I think that one over there doubles as a router. I'm not mistaken, it does. I think you can pull the shank out of these. So this is going to be my router table. I've got some nice router bits, but not a good router table. And man, this thing is solid right here. This is what I've been looking for. They don't make these anymore. At least I can't find them anywhere, or if they do, they're super expensive. Now this is an old Craftsman. I didn't realize it was a Craftsman until I just saw the label on the motor there. Well, this is an old Craftsman router shaper table. It's probably not good for a shaper table. I mean, it's heavy duty, but probably a little on the light side for big shaper bits. But it is a perfect router table. And these old table saws, I used to have one of these years ago, and I had a bunch of old Craftsman professional stuff when they actually still sold professional stuff. But that's a nice table saw. And I'll show you the model number here if I can get the thing. I don't see a model number, but you kind of get the idea. But yeah, that's a nice table saw, cast iron top. And this here is an old Reliant shaper, and it's nice and heavy, big cast iron machine. I've had quite a few old Reliant tools, has some big planers, and it's kind of equivalent to the Jets and things like that today. I think the same factory probably makes all of them in Taiwan, but this is an old Reliant shaper. This thing's gonna come in handy. It is heavy. I gotta unload that with the Bobcat. But yeah, that's our bounty for today. And before I tell you how much I paid for this bounty here, I want you to drop it in the comments and tell me what you think I paid. I want you to tell me what you think this stuff is worth. I know some of you are probably like, oh, that's not worth crap. It's too old and nasty and rusty. It's not really rusty. It's more like sawdust on it than anything. It has a little rust. It'll clean up though. These things are gonna be nice. But yeah, drop in the comments. Tell me what you think I paid for this stuff. So all that equipment was sitting out of the weather. It was in it was like an old chicken house or something, an old barn. They were dry, they're nasty, they're dirty, they got a little rust on them. If you know machines like that, those old machines will last literally forever. Last longer than we will anyway. I'll get those cleaned up and get them running, and really make some good use out of them, because I've been needing a new table saw really bad. I got a little small one that's a piece of junk, but I really needed a good table saw. And I really needed to get a router table, because we're doing flooring, we're doing some trim work, and some other things that require those tools. And I just didn't have them at the time. So, but now I do. I paid $500 for that stuff, all of it. If you know equipment and wood tools in the woodworking industry, you'll know $500 is a pretty good deal for that stuff. I think I got a really good deal. Bonnie's back. She got some food at the Flying J's. What'd you get us?
Pizza.
Pizza. We got pizza. Good, healthy pizza. We'll see their pizza. What do they have today? Oh, it looks nice.
Pizza.
Yay. This Flying J's here has always got good food. Actually, you know what? This was a pilot.
Used to be.
This was a pilot not long ago, because oh yeah, look, they still got pilot on the boxes. Look, Flying J's always got good food too, so I'm happy either way. All right, we made it back to the house in one piece. Everything's still in the trailer. Now I gotta get the Bobcat to unload this heavy stuff. got? Check out this whole thing. Everything's all free. I'm about to plug them into some power. So this is a Reliant heavy duty spindle shaper. But yeah, this is the main thing I was looking for. I've been searching for these everywhere. And finally I found this one along with everything else. And everything seems to work free on it. Like the old lever here that raises and lowers the spindle. Everything feels smooth. I mean, it looks rusty, but everything feels smooth on them. And these are nice. Look at that. Everything works free. These things will last forever. I'm just gonna clean them up, sand them a little bit. I might even put a fresh coat of paint, maybe some new decals on them. The guy, he's checking to see if he's got more bits. He said he had more laying around somewhere. He's gonna look around and see what he's got. I'm not sure what this is. This feels like some kind of cabinet molding. They came out of an old cabinet shop though. And the table saw. I don't know if people are familiar with these, but these are some good old table saws back in the day. I guess they still are. I see a lot of them for sale every once in a while. They're usually around 800 to 1,000 bucks or better. But this has a, I'm guessing it's factory, because it's got a little adjustable leg on the back where this drops down. But man, and it's got the Bessemeyer fence for it, if I said that right. But yeah, these are nice. These are nice table saws. So I'm gonna clean this one up, get it all wiped down and cleaned up, and get this sanded back down and waxed. So it'll be nice. But it was out of the weather. It was in a shed or chicken house or something. It's a pretty nice table saw. That was worth the money right there. I guess all of them were really worth the money. Yeah, all three of those were 500 bucks. I think it's a good deal. We got our cord plugged in. Time for the real tests. These things hadn't been running a while, I don't think. Oh yeah. Run smooth. Needs a new blade, but that thing runs smooth right there. Okay, time to test this one. Where's the on off switch on this? Probably needs a little oil and it's turning. I think once it goes, it'll go. We'll come back to this one. Let's try this one out. Well, it says it's 220 here, but it's got a 110 volt plug on it. So, odd. I think somebody put a 110 volt plug on a 220 volt power system here. So that is a 220 volt machine. I figured it was. It just had a 110 volt cord on it. I'm not so concerned about this machine because I'm gonna have to get some shaper bits for it anyway. It's gonna be nice, but I don't have any bits. That's the only one I have now. They come with it, and that's pretty rusty. It probably needs to go in the garbage or sharpen it. Depends if it's got it does have carbides. So actually it looks pretty good. It's just nasty. So I could probably clean that up, and they're pretty sharp too. So yeah, I can clean that up and use that. I'll have to pull it off and see what kind of profile it is. Looks like some kind of paneling bit for cabinets. So, but that's cool. I just gotta get some bits for it and get that on 220 to plug it in. I think it'll work fine. Right here it tells me it is 230 volts. And this one does have a start capacitor on the other side. So, and right here, 220. So, I don't know why they have this plug on here, but whatever, we'll change that out. This one, I was hoping this had the collet on it, that you could pull the arbor out and change those around. But it doesn't look like that's what that is, unless I'm looking at it wrong. So this one's gonna also take like a shaper bit. I don't know if anybody familiar with these things. It's a Craftsman Pro spindle router. So I don't know if these, I thought these had a collet style arbor in them that you could change out and put either a shaft or like a router bit in. But anybody familiar with this thing, let me know. Tell me your tips and tricks and things with this. And does that shaft come out or does that stay in there like that? I'm curious because I really want to turn this into a router table, do all my routing work with it. Probably don't know, I used to have a big sign shop and I did a lot of woodworking and building sign blanks and wooden signs and Did the sandblast and stuff and the CNC routed signs. After I closed that business, I didn't really need wood tools as much, but the sawmill was great because that's where all my cedar came from for my big cedar blanks. At that time, I lived in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, and a lot of signs out there were sandblasted. Well, I did all CNC routed signs, but I could do the 3D CNC router where it looked like wood grain. Come out real nice. And the sawmill was always handy for that kind of stuff because all my wood came from my own sawmill. But that was years ago. And I definitely miss doing some woodwork. I really enjoy sawmilling too, but when you do sawmilling and you're around all this beautiful wood all the time that you cut, you feel a strong urge and a strong need to be able to do something with some of that wood. I'm gonna get this thing running before it drives me crazy. I'll pull this motor down and see if I can figure out why it's trying to bond. It's in like the new stuff. The new stuff, if you let it sit this long, you'd never get this bolt out. You'd have to cut it out, torch it or something. I think old metal is much better. Explain that to me. Anybody else feel that way? Old metal is better than new metal? Oh, let's see what we got here. There's a keyway. It's about to come out. I guess I've ever seen this kind of deal before. Okay, so it has a set screw. So this was sliding. I found this slid up and it was hitting the top of that cover, and I realized it moves up and down, and it does have an Allen screw in here, and that Allen screw was not tight because this thing slid right off by hand. So that's why it was binding up. And the motor runs pretty free now. Let's plug it in and see if it'll run. Oh yeah, there it is. 240. Just gonna let these bearings are a little dry. I think I have all the tools I need, except for my WD-40. I'm like a kid when it comes to this stuff. I gotta get this stuff working. I'm ready to just go. Oops, too far. Right there. This thing kind of wobbly, but I think it'll be fun. All right, let's try that. I think that'll work. Let's double check this and make sure we're not. I don't like that wobbly stuff. It makes stuff fall apart. Oh, maybe not. I don't know if you can see that crack right there. You see it? There's a crack that runs all the way up this thing. That may have been the problem in the first case. That thing got loose because that was cracked. That's why it's wobbly. That's why it slid off so easy. So what can we do about that? We could easily put another pulley on here, just a V-groove belt pulley, because this is kind of odd. It's a V-belt. So we got that option. I'm sure beating on it helps too. Yeah, we'll get a new pulley coming for that. See, it's just a V-belt. It's an odd pulley for a V-belt. I guess it works. I'll go ahead and get a new pulley coming for that from Amazon. But right now, I'm going to find me a board. Some good candidates right here. That one's ugly. Oh man, that's... Sorry, little guy. Yeah, that looks good. I'll take this one. I choose you. We're gonna test our table saw. Here we go. Doing our first cut. Damn, wood splitter's in the way. Damn, that blades like new. All right, let's see what this thing does now. Got the pulley fixed up. Make sure the pulley's not hitting the thing here. We're gonna have to set that up with a switch on it. All right, that's great. We know that one works. So we got a nice running table saw and we got a nice running shaper / router spindle machine. So I gotta get some bits ordered for this thing so I'll cut some trim. Now what we gotta do is hook this Reliant up to power and make sure it works. I'm pretty sure it will, and that's not gonna be today because I gotta hook that to 220. I don't have any 220 down here, so I'm pretty sure it'll work. But that is excellent. And I just wanted to show you my haul for today, or my bounty for today for finding cool stuff on the marketplace. That's what we do. And I appreciate you joining. Sorry this is such a short video. I just want to take you along for my little adventure today and show you what I got, what kind of deals we got there on Marketplace. I'm sure a lot of you guys do the same thing, whether it be wood tools or anything else. It's a great thing. We'll see you on the next one.